Hello and welcome to Project Cars 2, where it's going to be a bit of a different video today. Today, I'm going to teach you why driving a slower car is better and can actually make you faster when you step into the much faster vehicles. For this, I will be using the Snetterton 300 layout. And the cars I will be using, for the slower car, I'm using the racing version of the Ford Escort Mark 1. Doesn't really matter what car you use, and I won't use something completely radical to compare it to. However, I could, because the theory still applies. And that theory is, by driving a much slower car, it makes you faster because you have to chuck the car around more in order to extract every little ounce of time, every bit of corner exit. Both of these tests, may I add, are being done on a controller. And what you got to do is you got to be smooth, but you've also got to learn how to handle the car very well. Now this rear-wheel drive car, I have the assists and all that on this game set to authentic, so while driving this I have no traction control, no ABS, I also have no opposite lock assist or anything. As you can see, I'm having to really concentrate to extract every little ounce of time that I can from the car, because it's slow, and if you put it in a race against the cars in the same class in this game, it will easily come last because it puts it in against extremely fast cars. Yes. Now down the straights you lose out to them, yes, because it's not got that much high speed. But what the Escort lacks in straight line speed, it makes up for in cornering ability, which is where this theory comes in. Where if you drive the slower cars, I'm just going to do 5 or 6 laps. We'll see what my best lap time is. And then off the car, same track, give it the same amount of laps. What I really should have done here, before and after, yes. So what I'm going to do now is, yes, I'm going to fast car, and then we're going to hop back in the Escort. In fact, we're going to hop in the bone stock Escort for this test. And we're going to hop into the possibly one of the sports cars in the category. or even let's go something nice and new. We'll go. Got to be so it's directly comparable. What we'll do is we'll go. Yeah, we'll go the McLaren F1 GTR Longtail. Alright, so the theory is by using a slower car, you learn to extract the out of it in every corner. So therefore, by hopping into a faster car, you will then relatively know the braking points. You'll be able to. Now I'm not expecting to blitz the lap record here, but what I am expecting, yeah, is this will be my baseline. Then we'll go into the escort, hop in the escort, set a few laps there. And let me just say, I have no driving experience in this, on this track and car setup at all. But what I will try and do this lap is warm the tyres. I don't know this version of Snetterton too well either, which is partly why I chose it, because I think the one I have the most track time on is the 200, which skips out that section that I've just driven here and goes straight onto this back straight. What I'm expecting from this is I'm going to go out on the second run in this after going out in the escort. I should be faster than this few laps that I'm setting here. Now of course the McLaren has slick tyres and aerodynamics and all that. The Escort doesn't have that. The point is, your regular road car doesn't have all aerodynamics, slick tyres and whatnot. Yeah, this is purely a confidence thing, get you working the most out of your car in a sim racing game, in order to make you as fast as you can possibly be. Now, no, I'm not as smooth as like your Super GTs and your Jimmy Broadbents, but put me on an equal game, in equal cars, and adequate enough time to properly learn the track and whatnot. I reckon I'm a controller player, yeah. I reckon I'd be able to keep up with them, at least. You put me in equal machinery with anyone, I reckon I could get the job done. Because I understand the basics in all of the like your trail braking and whatnot, weight transfer. I need to scrub this dirt off these tyres. Right, next lap is a new run. I know unconventional lines and conventional lines, it's all... Well, current and next lap will be invalidated. Lovely. What I'll do... I can't just return to the pit box because it means I'll have to warm up the tyres again. We're instantly better through that first corner because I've learnt the car a bit. What we'll do is we'll get one valid lap down. This one won't be it, that's for sure. Stick it in first gear there. Point is, this won't be a very good lap because I haven't yet got the experience around this track in a car which requires me to extract all of the possible grip and knowledge that I have out of my brain and apply it into this, onto this track, into the car. If you were to go straight into F1, you would not be fast at all. This applies to all portions of motorsport. If you go straight to the top, you're going to lose instantly. That hasn't gone well. Let's just go to get a valid lap. Because these slower cars that you used are like building blocks. You gain the knowledge from them and you apply it into the next stage up. You apply it to all of the stages of motorsport, yes? If you can take your knowledge from what you've... It applies to everything in life. You can take your knowledge from what you've learnt before, go in and apply that, and you get to the next level. It's like Mario games, right? If you're playing Mario, say you played it when it first came out, you're going to have, if you could sit down and play it again, you're now going to have that muscle memory. And driving these slower cars gives you just that. It gives you the muscle memory of when to apply the throttle, when to turn in, when to brake. And although the brakes in those cars may be slightly worse than your top level race cars, it gives you that background knowledge as to what you should do. Like me here, I've just learned that if I brake too hard in this car while going around the corner, I will go off the track and massively cut that final corner. Yes, I've learnt from that now, and I brake gently in order to get around the corner. Just like this, you learn what gear you're going to be in. I'm not going to take this lap or what, unless it gets invalid. Here we come up to this hairpin here, slightly missing a shit. Just steer. Be careful of the hideously massive sausage curve. Second gear onto the back accelerate to minimise the wheel spin. And I just learnt this from my lap in the car. It's not just about regardless if you're playing on a wheel. I don't care that it's been invalidated, we're going to take it anyway. If something goes horribly wrong at the last corner of spin, this lap time is what it is. So, here we come to the line, and it is a 1 minute 48 480. So, 1 minute 48 480. Yes. Now I'm going to hop in the slower car, build my knowledge of the circuit, push the car as hard as I think I can push it. Yes. In fact, you push your car to the limit. If you can push your car to the limit every time until you learn the limit, that is how you extract every ounce of performance you have. Lewis Hamilton once said that his dad used to, when Lewis was karting, he used to stand and watch where the best driver was braking, and he'd move 10 feet down the road and tell Lewis to brake there. That's what you're doing, but without someone on the road there. You continually try something until you get it right, to the point where you are almost getting it wrong. I'm here. I can't be in first gear down here because I'm nearly killing the engine.
Okay, you know the drill. Let's warm these tyres up.
What I do know about this car is it does perform very well on cold tyres. And very much unlike the McLaren. A lot of these hairpins are going to be first gear corners. Now, because I have already driven the racing version of this car, I now need to relearn how to drive the stock version without all of its fancy traction aids, of which there are none, but like, because this car has its stock tyres now, whereas the racing one had a sort of semi-slip. So you can see I'm just using the weight transfer, trail braking, using a few of the longer gears. Now what you can do, if you want, you can go and tune your car. However, if you want to get it a bit faster, but you need to try this first. Get yourself as fast as you can be going in a slower car, and then apply what you learn in the slower car to the fast car. You can see I was going through that corner while it was telling me to brake. That's because another thing you need to learn, if you're like me and you use the braking line, that braking line isn't always correct. Yes, you need to trust your own gut when to brake. And after this, I want you to try a few laps with the driving line on, all of the points and that turned on. I want you to brake where it tells you to brake, and then brake about 20 feet later on the next lap. Yes? And then when you can consistently brake at a singular point about 20 feet after when it initially tells you to brake, I then want you to turn the driving line off. Now, in these slower cars, I do suggest actually, yeah, braking where it tells you to brake. But in the faster cars, try that, yeah, and brake where it tells you to, but brake later. And the reason I tell you that is because these slower cars have have much worse brakes, and they will try to kill you at any chance you've got. I'm expecting about a 2-minute lap time here. Most likely. I did see that I did invalidate it, but we'll go for a couple more laps, I reckon. I'm very quickly getting this down in this car. But what I'm going to start doing now is pushing myself. Brake that little bit later, turn in a bit earlier. See, experiment with your line. And then you'll end up like that, and you'll push it a bit too far, and you'll learn from it. And you'll say, oh no, maybe I shouldn't brake that late next lap, or perhaps I should brake a little bit earlier for that, and trail brake it in. Yes, so let's go for another lap, yes? But this lap I'm going to push it a bit, yeah? I'm going to brake a bit later for this first corner. That was a 2:29, but we did go off the track, yeah? I'm going to brake about there. Trail brake it in, get it back down in third gear in order to get the revs up. And now here, because it's a hairpin, I want to brake relatively where it's telling me to. Drop it in first gear to get the rotation. And then boom. In we go. That's just and I've gone off the track again. Yes. So I adjust my line for the next lap. And I brake a bit later here. Keep it in second gear perhaps. Get a bit of rotation on the exit, because you're in a rear wheel drive car and you need that weight transfer. Maybe don't brake as hard, because you might keep locking up the brakes. A bit like I did back then, yeah? But I want you to go away from this, go away from this video. I want you to try this nice slow car, set a base lap in your fast car that you want to do. Yeah, a nice slow car, and I want you to just learn all I want you to do. And look, I learnt from my mistake last lap, but I could be better, you see. And that's what you keep telling yourself. I can do that better. I can do that faster. If you can do it without tuning the car, even better. Because then you're not relying on other skills that you have. Do a lap while it's stock, and then adjust the car needingly. Yes? As a 2:27. The last one was a 2:28. I'm a second faster through there already. Ride the rev line a bit. brake a bit later. Ideally, if you are using the driving line, you want that to be about orange or yellow by the time that you're at the apex of the corner. You want to use the brakes to get rotation. You use the brakes, it compresses the suspension on the front, yes? And you turn at the same time, it compresses it on one side of the car. You brake, it compresses that, it pushes the tyre into the surface that you're driving on, and it gives you more grip, because all of a sudden there's a tiny bit more contact area on that area, one specific area of the car. If you can't imagine that, imagine how tank steering works, yes? One side grips immensely while the other side has less grip, and it turns towards the side. Well, actually that's a pretty bad analogy. Tanks do it the other way round. Tanks turn to the side with more grip. This will turn to the side with less grip, because all of a sudden you've applied all of the grip on the side that you expect to be doing all the steering. So we're coming out here. Our potential lap times are 2 minutes 25. We might hit that. We're on 122, 120, 225.075. We've beaten the potential lap time. Yes? So you see that, yes? We got 225. Yes? Now we go back in the McLaren and see if we can apply that knowledge that we've just learnt from driving the Escort. It doesn't even have to be those two cars specifically. You can apply it to anything. Just anything that's comparable to it. Roughly, you want the same drive shaft. You want a similar amount. You want. It doesn't have to be similar amount of anything. The only thing it has to be relatively similar on is that drivetrain. If you're learning a track in an all-wheel drive car, you can't expect to take that knowledge over to a rear-wheel drive car. If you're driving it in a front-wheel drive car, you can't expect to do a rear-wheel, go into rear-wheel drive and be good there. That is the one thing. You have to be consistent about what you're learning the track in. They have to be similar, and that is it. Similar in drive shaft, and if you're similar, like, if you can get it bang on like that, our best lap, what, 1 minute 48, I think it was, before anything. Yes. So now we go in, we warm our tyres on our first lap, and we'll try and beat our lap time, which it was a 144 or a 148.480, I think. So as you can see, tyres are cold, it's not going to grip because they're slicks, yes? Braking point dramatically changes because you're in a faster car, but you need to remember your brakes are a lot better than they were in that older car. So what you can do there is, yeah, you may be going a lot faster, but your brakes are better. So you can brake at the same point that you're braking in the slower car. And the brakes have to be better on a faster car because they need to be able to stop you better. The faster you go, the better they need to be able to stop you. Like this car, it's got a top speed of about 240 miles per hour. Yeah, which is why the brakes have to be really good in order to stop you having a massive accident and killing yourself. Sorry, am I even allowed to say that on YouTube anymore? So, and we go for a lap. You can see we didn't invalidate anything so far, and we can brake at more or less at that sign which we were braking at in the Escort. You might miss an apex or two if you try and brake exactly where you were braking. I mean, this corner here I have to brake for, but in the Escort I wasn't. Yes, that's because all of a sudden I'm going a bit quicker down that one little bit of stretch. That's probably the only exception. You brake, you turn in, use a bit of trail braking. Leave it in second, minimalise the wheel spin, as we were doing with the Escort. Yes, you see, you start getting it. It all starts clicking in your mind. You get a bit of weight transfer in here, with a bit of trail braking. And all of a sudden, you can trust it a bit more because faster car, maybe you got a bit more aerodynamic downforce, a bit more mechanical downforce. Yeah, it's all not aerodynamic grip. Bang, we're already faster. Oh, I've spun that. I'm just going to keep the throttle planted because we'll go for another lap after this one. We'll prove it, yeah? Because we even saw I didn't have the best line through turn 1 on that lap beforehand. And just because I have a bit of doubt that it might have been a 144 480 that I lapped beforehand, we'll go to beat lap. But you can see, just from that section alone, I'm already faster. Probably should have went down to second there, you see. You learn each thing a little bit more every lap. Bit trail braking. Oh, and look, you might spin it. But look, like I said, each mistake you make, you learn a bit from it. What all I need to learn is where that sausage curb is. Because I do not want to get the car beached on that. While reversing, that would be very embarrassing. And also, if it was real life, it would be a very expensive mistake. These McLaren F1 Longtails are not cheap. By any shot. And here we go, we've hit them. Look, we're 2 tenths up already. Bang, 4 tenths. 6 tenths. Bang. Yeah, see? And you just keep learning. We're almost a whole second up on our time. Could have been faster out that corner. They're down into first for another hairpin. Try not to hit the sausage curb, but I did anyway. I'm slower through that corner, so I take a bit from what I learned last lap and I apply it there. Bit of trail braking to get it round that corner. Trust the aerodynamics a bit. And hell, you can even use a bit of what you learned from the car during your base lap. Bang! 44.6. And back, you see, 144.6, I think that's, what, near on 2 seconds faster than we were on the base lap. So, I think that'll be it for this episode. Thank you for watching, if you have. If you enjoyed this sort of video, like the video, subscribe. If you want a bit more of this content. I don't normally do all of these sim racing sort of tutorial things, but I'd be happy to continue them. So that is it for this episode. Thank you for watching and goodbye.